You're lying in bed, in absolute silence. It's late. You're reading. Even your baby in your belly seems to be sleeping peacefully, a perfect calm. Then your partner enters the room and says a single, completely normal sentence, and instantly, within half a second, your abdomen jolts. The baby has turned. A massive, calm, and assertive movement, as if snapping to attention. 10 minutes earlier, your lifelong best friend had called you on the phone with a much brighter, higher-pitched tone of voice. But there was absolutely no reaction from the fetus. But now, there is. And if you stop to think about it, you start to realize there's a pattern. Hearing that specific vocal frequency triggers a reaction that all the others never achieve. If you've ever noticed this, you know that thrill of curiosity. Maybe they recognize their dad, you tell yourself. But most prenatal class literature skims over the topic, calling it a coincidence, a mechanical reaction due to the intensity or proximity of the sound source. Doctors tend to be reductive. Fetuses react to bass sounds because they travel better through tissues. It sounds rational. And it is exactly the belief that developmental psychology held onto for decades. But it also happens that this explanation is profoundly, extraordinarily wrong, or at least tragically incomplete. Researchers specializing in prenatal attachment don't see sound physics. They see something that shatters the idea that a fetus is merely waiting to be born. They see proof of the oldest and most sophisticated social mapping system lifted straight out of human evolution. Let's start with Mary Ainsworth's Strange Situation Test from 1969, the most monumental clinical tool ever created to assess whether a 1-year-old child had a secure, insecure, or avoidant attachment to their parents. It was entirely based on a trivial metric. What does the child do when the mother leaves the room and a stranger walks in? Or what do they do when the mother returns? Do they cry? Ignore her? Seek her out? For 50 years, we thought attachment began after the umbilical cord was cut, until maternal fetal neurobiologists inverted the question, what if the strange situation is already happening? Every single day, right now, in the darkness of the amniotic fluid. What they found literally froze the entire field. In observational studies in England using fetal heart rate monitors, they tested reactivity to different voices played through recorders placed on the belly. When the stranger entered vocally, the fetus altered its heart rate, usually accelerating. A basic reaction of the sympathetic nervous system. Who is this? Will my mother retreat or stay calm? But when the voice of the stable partner took over, the one the mother listens to for hours a day, the one the mother cuddles up to, causing drops in cortisol, the fetal heart rate didn't just regularize. Often, it experienced a form of beneficial syncope, a state of watchful stillness, a calm attentiveness. But here is where nature is truly frightening, and where it gets incredibly strange. The logical input-output idea, I hear the voice equals I am happy, could not explain the entire phenomenon. The fetus is capable of having a favorite, not because it has a musical or aesthetic taste for a particular voice, but because it is running a mathematical calculation of neurosurvival. Evolution didn't leave attachment up to chance. It wired the fetal brain to execute a ruthless but perfect calculation. When your partner speaks lovingly, your placenta often detects a surge in oxytocin levels, the love hormone. Therefore, voice equals oxytocin burst for you equals cascade of calm, oxygen-rich blood rushing toward the umbilical cord. The fetus is literally drinking the spike of chemical love you feel toward this person. It learns that this specific sequence of sounds, that precise vocal timbre, regularly precedes a state of chemical abundance and muscular relaxation. So, it's not being shy when it doesn't move for your coworkers, and it's not simply excited when it recognizes dad. That specific voice has been neurologically tagged in its ancestral database as Grade 1 Safety Voice. Activate Energy Saving Mode. Awaken Positive Attention Sensors. This means the embryo isn't waiting to be born to know who to trust. It already has a favorite because you, biologically and chemically, have already run the background check for it. But there is still an unexplored level, the one almost nobody mentions outside university lecture halls. What happens if there's a fierce argument? If the mother yells or the partner yells? The literature on split bonding assumes that trauma simply blocks the baby. When they test the fetal strange situation under severe stress, the fetus does not react in a linear fashion. It executes placental freezing or hypermotility to distract from or process the massive surge of maternal adrenaline. They profoundly understand when the safe voice suddenly turns threatening and the synchrony is lost. If you have arrived at understanding this, you must grasp one blinding truth. You are not simply carrying out a biological pregnancy. You are the chemical intermediary of your child's entire social reality. Your cardiovascular system is the translator for the language of the universe. You shouldn't feel guilty about not singing into a microphone against your belly or not playing Mozart for them. The real music is you when you laugh. Your future baby's first love connection is not with the outside world. It is with your reaction to the outside world. And this is biology's way of giving you the ultimate imprimatur. You will protect this cub. Your DNA is teaching you how. If there is a warning, if there is a vulnerability stemming from this, it is doubting your instinct and the power of your own body. Trusting each other, mother and host, is quite literally the survival protocol executing millisecond by millisecond between you. If this science has permanently changed the way you perceive the intimacy of the maternal womb, subscribe. Leave a comment if you've ever felt the joy or the sheer weirdness of seeing your child respond on command to your partner's voice, and now you know exactly the genius chemical calculation orchestrating it. And if this seems complex, wait until you discover the truth about the silent architecture of the prefrontal lobes and how they form when you have unbearable anxiety attacks. That will be the focus of our next video, to give you the science the way no rushed gynecologist ever will. And remember, science is always unquestionably more incredible than the old textbook theories.